Hey guys, how are you? My name is Noel Garcia, here with you today, sharing this great idea that came to mind today. This idea consists of, give me 1 second, got firefighters coming. Alright, so where were we? Okay, so this research idea came to mind, which it involves the hot debate, the hot issues that are going on with our society right now. Those happen to be, give me 1 second. Got it going, everything's good. Perfect. Alright, so where were we? So this research idea came to mind to try to understand the effects that cannabis has on certain individuals or the overall population while under the influence of cannabis. Now, this research experiments would consist of the effects that it has while driving a motor vehicle. Okay, that's the premise of the research. Now, the research would consist of a individual driving a motor vehicle in a controlled environment, meaning that he's not out in public streets driving around. The second one would be that this vehicle that the individual will be driving would be rigged with cameras that would capture his every movement, cameras that would capture the environment, 360 view of everything that is going on. And there's a reason for this. Crazy people. And there's a reason for this. The reason, mainly the reason being that you want to study two main aspects. First, the impairment of the body, if there's any impairment of the body, and any impairment of the mind. Okay, those would be the two main subjects that we would have to research and try to understand, to see what the effects of cannabis are on any certain individual, or have an overall idea of what the true effects of that are. So with that in mind, I seek your support, I seek your help, of any organization, individual that might see any truth into this. I think it's a great experiment. It holds a lot of foundation, and it would provide law agencies, it would provide as well certain organizations, certain individuals, the peace of mind that we deserve. And that is to say, what happens? I mean, I've read countless of articles, countless of books, countless of information, and none of them talked about a stoner ever crashing or causing a major incident. Now, that is something that is impressive. Why is it that the majority of accidents, of motor vehicle accidents, happen while people are intoxicated with alcohol? Now, we've established scientifically now that the use of cannabis does not compare in any way to the use of alcohol. Okay? We now established that it is scientifically not the same. First of all, one is man-made process through the uses of fermentation and all the process that it takes. I am not a beer expert, and I do not, and forgive me for the knowledge that I don't know, but it's comparing apples to oranges. Okay? Now, does it produce certain effects? Yes, absolutely. In excess, it produces cloudiness of the mind, I guess you would call it, an impairment of the mind, maybe at some level if it's taken in high quantities, and we're talking about cannabis. But who really wants to use? I mean, I've seen people of every walks of life that use cannabis, and it's a wonderful miracle. I truly believe, and I once read that if we were to discover cannabis today, in this present day, in the middle of the jungle in the Amazon, if we were to discover it somewhere today and find all the uses that it has, it would be the miracle. It would be the most miraculous plant that we would ever consider. Hemp, I can ramble on and on about the uses, and I think by now we pretty much all heard the uses that it holds. But why not? Why not take the minute to actually listen and pay attention to what is in front of us? I think it's completely ignorant of the people and of the governments that enforce the laws that would prohibit a plant that has as many uses as we could potentially find for them. I mean, from clothes, cars, fuel, I'm very sure fuel as well. Whatever the thousands of many uses and hundreds of uses are for hemp, it provides one that I'm most concerned about today, which is cannabis. Cannabis, I believe it's a wonderful medicine. It's a wonderful medicine. It's a wonderful medicine. It's a wonderful plant that has thousands of uses. Why not take advantage of it now? Why not really start to be smart in the economies that are ahead? Let us invest in the things that are important. Let us invest in the things that actually make a difference in people's lives. The cannabis industry right now is booming, and it is my prediction. It is I truly believe that this is going to be one of those industries that are going to make a life-changing impact in society, and it truly will. And that is the reason that I asked for your help today. For any organization that is out there that is willing to invest in a revolutionary industry that will literally change the way in which we see our social life. And it doesn't have to be detrimental. It doesn't have to be all hippie 60s style. That's not the way it is. Come on. We as humans are smarter. We as persons, as a society, I believe that we're smart enough. We the people are smart enough to know what the limits of recreational use are, what the limits of industrial use are. We're not in the middle, or we're not in the dark ages about this stuff anymore. We're at a level of evolution now that it asks more from us. It asks to understand more of the nature that is here. And with that in mind, I could keep rambling on and on about this. So I truly do ask, there will probably be another video that will explain more in detail the importance of this research that I would like to do, and with the cooperation and the help of any of you who are interested in lending a helping hand, lending any financial resources, lending any first-hand experience, lending any stories that you might have if you've ever been, and you can do it anonymously. You don't have to do it all publicly, and if there's no shame in that, there's no shame in that. But if you have any experience where you've driven while not intoxicated, while in the effects of cannabis, which I personally believe that they're not detrimental to anything, and the science is there to prove it. But if you ever had an experience in which you've driven, and which operated a motor vehicle under the influence of cannabis, please comment. Please tell me your story. It is something that I would truly like to get out to the public and to the social life, so that we can begin to understand the uses of this beautiful plant without having a negative view of it. Come on, but now in society, I believe that we're much more open-minded to think for ourselves. We're not in the dark ages. We're not in the empirical times where certain beliefs were forced upon us. We now have the freedom to think for ourselves. And with the help of you and any organization that is willing to invest their time and money into this, I thank you in advance. Thank you guys. I hope this gets to someone, gets to somewhere. And if it's not me, let it be you. You know what? Let this experiment not stop with me. It was an idea that came to mind. It was a flash, a moment, a flash of inspiration that came to mind, I guess you would call it. And let this idea not die with me. Let this idea not stop because of the lack of resources, of the lack of knowledge, of wisdom, of anything. Let this idea be not limited to myself only. And if you out there have better resources and have the ability to make this happen, make it happen. You know what? I think us, the people, and everyone in society would really appreciate appreciate the results. You know what? It is time for us to start learning, and who better than to start practicing and doing our own research with the people of our society. I truly believe I am self-educated. I decided to drop out of college to be self-educated, and I truly believe that someone like myself that has these great ideas, that has this research in mind, should not be limited to not be able to experiment. So with your help and the help of any organization out there that would invest in some research, I would be happy to do the work. Thank you guys. Have a great day and have an amazing time. Happy Memorial Day weekends. Bye-bye.